Great Scott!
Are you a sports fan who loves to have a good laugh?
Oh, yeah!
Then you're in the right place.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Life moves pretty fast.
Welcome to the Man Cave Chronicles.
Brady has his fifth!
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's podcast. This week I have actor Reid Miller. Reid, what's going on?
Not much, man. How are you?
Good. How's everything on your end?
It's going really good. Just I'm in Texas right now for Christmas break. I'm spending some time with my family, and it's been nice.
Yeah, where are you originally from? Are you originally from Texas?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but then I moved to Texas when I was maybe 8 or 9, and then I went to LA in 2013 for acting, and I've been kind of coming back and forth.
Yeah. How's the transition living in LA?
It was interesting. You know, the lifestyles are a lot different. The people are a lot different. So it's been an adjustment, but it's been a good adjustment. I definitely really like LA.
Yeah. Is there do you ever feel homesick from staying in LA?
Yeah. Yes and no. It really depends. Some days I can feel really homesick, but other days I don't even really think about Texas. Just because I'm typically working so much, I stay busy, so I'm not too homesick most of the time.
Yeah. So the listeners they'll know you from you have a show called Play by Play.
Yeah.
And that's streamed on was it G090?
Yeah, Go 90. Yeah.
Go 90. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Play by Play is which the first season is out. The first season is out right now on Go 90, which you can get for free. It's like Netflix and it's up and coming. But Play by Play is a 90s sports rom-com, and it's a lot like The Wonder Years or Saved by the Bell. It's a lot like that. And my character, Pete Hickey, who's the lead of the show and the main focus, it's basically about how he wants to be a football player, but, he's too small, and so he ends up becoming the kicker. And so it's really about his life with his best friend, Rocco, and his love interest, Alex Campbell, who he's trying to get to go on a date with. But she's currently dating his kind of arch rival, Justin, who's like he's a football player, a jock, and so it's really great. It has like its comedy is very much for a wide audience. It has a lot of 90s references for people who grew up in the 90s, but a lot of comedy that's aimed for a modern audience. So it definitely hits on all levels, I think. Yeah. And it's called Play by Play because it's basically narrated by a future version of me who's actually a sports newscaster.
Yeah, I read that online, which I found very interesting.
Yeah. So he's giving like the play-by-play of his life.
Yeah, and you've just finished completing seasons 2 and 3, also, right?
Yeah, I went back out to Des Moines, which is where we shoot the show, for about 3 months to shoot seasons 2 and 3, which was really awesome. And we're gearing up and hoping we get a 4th season or even a 5th season.
Yeah. And do you see this show like being streamed in other platforms as well?
Absolutely. I definitely think it's a Netflix quality show, and a lot of people who've seen it agree. So I'm definitely hoping that Netflix or Hulu or even Amazon are interested in it, and we'll see. Who knows what this year has to hold?
Yeah. So how did you get into the acting world?
Well, it started when I was 13. To give a little backstory, I never knew I wanted to be an actor, but I always knew I wanted to be in movies. I just didn't know in what capacity, but I knew I wanted to create and help create. But the movie industry, it just seemed like such a otherworldly thing and seemed so impossible to achieve, and to break into. But when I was 13, our town, Odessa, Texas, Midland, Texas, was visited by a company called The Arts, and they basically look for new talent in small locations, like small towns, And it's like a variety of talent, like singing, acting, dancing, stand-up comedy, that kind of thing. And what they do is whoever they find has the most talent, they bring them to Orlando and have them perform in front of agents and managers, and hoping that they can get these kids or even adults some representation and help start their career. And I was one of those kids. My audition wasn't very good. I had a lot of anxiety when I was that age, and I messed up my monologue and I started crying on stage. But she, the owner, she saw something in me and decided to bring me out anyway. And if she hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't have got to do what I'm getting to do right now.
Yeah. But you were also, from what I read online, you like to operate the camera when you were young, filming and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I still have to do that. Like one of my main goals is to be a director and a writer. Like I'm a writer right now. I'm directing my first short film at the end of February. And, when I was a kid, when I was a lot younger, I would make stop motion movies all the time. And, I could spend days, if not weeks, on a single stop motion animation just to get, 15 minutes of footage. Like stop motion is incredibly difficult, but that was the only platform I really had with what I had to work with.
Yeah. So you're like the second generation of like the Goldbergs.
I'd hope so. I hope so. I definitely hope that I get to that point where I can be doing all of it,
Yeah. Do you watch that show? Are you a fan of the show?
I am a fan of the show. Yeah. I actually get a lot of comments that the Goldbergs has a lot of similarities to Play-by-Play, and it's funny because they both take place in the same timeline.
How do you try to improve your acting skills every day?
That's a good question. I obviously take classes. I coach. I try to do a wide variety of things to improve myself every day. And writing has actually really helped me too, because I typically, like, if I'm writing a scene, I'll act out the dialogue. I'll read the dialogue out loud, and so that helps me too. But I guess the clearest answer I can give is coaching and actually watching movies and watching my performances and seeing what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and what I can improve.
Yeah. What do you think is the hardest role you've played so far?
I mean, honestly, I'd have to say Worm, because Worm was a very difficult role for me, because me and Worm are nothing alike, really. But the more I played him, the more I realized we were so much alike, and that was kind of difficult and scary for me. Because Worm he's an introvert. He doesn't know how to talk to girls. He's never even had his first kiss. And he lives in this world where everyone is constantly moving, and he feels like he's being left behind. And I always felt, I'm not like that. I'm up in the current, and I have friends and blah, blah, blah. But the more I played the character, the more I realized, I do kind of feel like I'm being left behind by certain people. And, so yeah, I would have to say that Worm was definitely the most difficult, but the most rewarding as well.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. So that movie is going to be in Sundance. How do you feel about all that?
I mean, I'm thrilled. Sundance is a huge, huge thing. It's a huge deal, and I've never been, and now not only am I going to get to go to Sundance and experience that, but I'm going to get to go for a film that I'm the lead in. Like, I mean, I couldn't be happier. I mean, it's definitely it's a crazy turn, and I'm really pumped about it.
Yeah, and that's you go there for a few days, right?
Yeah, I'm going there for about a week. Yeah.
And do they play the movie every day, or is it just a certain night that they play the movie?
They're playing it every day, actually.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, that's really exciting to me that, maybe some of these big directors and big actors and big producers are, maybe they'll get a glimpse of my movie, and I'm really excited about that.
And you also do like a Q&A over there too, correct?
Yes. I believe that after every screening, there's a Q&A.
Yeah.
So that'll be really exciting.
The Man Cave Chronicles on Twitter at the MCC Podcast. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Rhett from the Brain Trust Brothers Network, here to talk about what we have to offer you. If you like listening to interesting people talk about themselves, then check out the Brain Trust Brothers podcast. Every Tuesday, I sit down with someone that I find interesting and talk to them about who they are and what they do. If catching up on the news surrounding Hollywood is your thing, then check out the Peanut Gallery every Saturday. With interviews from people in the industry, to us nerding out about upcoming film, you are sure to get a healthy dose of all things pop culture. If you would like to learn more about us, then check out BrainTrustBros.com or follow us on Twitter at BrainTrustBros. We hope that you enjoy and stay tuned for what's to come from the Brain Trust Brothers Network.
Hey guys, Brian Padone here, founder of Quiet Punch. When I'm not listening to the Man Cave Chronicles, you can catch me filming one of my live workouts on quietpunch.com. Check it out today. That's quietpunch.com.
Hey, this is Jeremy Falco from The Walking Dead, and you're listening to the Man Cave Chronicles.
How did you get cast for that movie?
Well, it was funny because I think I had just finished Play-by-Play season 1. Or no. I had just finished The Fourth Door and Mr. Student Body President, which were my other TV shows that I was in, and which are also on Go 90. And I had an audition, or I was pitched an audition for this. And the director had pitched the short to my agent, and she came to me and was like, "What do you think? Do you want to do this? Do you not want to do this? What's your opinion?" And for me, yes, it was a short, but the concept was awesome. And I felt that it definitely had the potential to go somewhere and be something that that can change people's lives and be a great story. So I decided to audition for it, and then I did the callback, and it was like a chemistry read. So I read with the girl who ended up playing my sister, Azure, and then I think it was maybe 2 days later that I got the call that they wanted me to do it, and I was really excited because it's a really unique project. It's a really unique story, and I believe that it'll go on and do big things.
Yeah. How long did you film it for?
I want to say it was 3 or 4 days, or I don't know, it might have been a week. It was definitely longer than a typical short film typically shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many people are in the movie?
Let me think. So we have my character Worm, Azure as my sister, Sky, who plays my love interest, Izzy, and my best friend in the short. We have him as well. So maybe 4 or 5 characters.
Who are some of your inspirations in the acting world? Who do you look up to?
I love this question. I typically look up to, I would have to say, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Christian Bale. A lot of Chris's. And who else? Yeah, I mean, really, those guys, really, because, when they act and they do a role, they go all in. They really go all in. Oh, Keanu Reeves, him as well. I hope to have a body of work like Keanu Reeves, like a career like him. Being an action star is definitely one of my biggest dreams.
Yeah. Do you think Christian Bale is the best Batman ever?
Absolutely. And I don't care who disagrees with me. Christian Bale is by far the best Batman I've seen on screen, and I recently rewatched the trilogy a couple weeks ago with Tyler Krim, who's actually my buddy. He plays my brother on Play-by-Play, and just like reliving that whole thing. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. I know. There's days where I'm like, man, I wish he would come back and do another one.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing against Ben Affleck. I'm a big fan of his films. I just don't think he's Batman.
Yeah.
You know,
it's funny because I'm older than you, so when we think about Batman, we also think about like Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I love Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
I just, I think Christian Bale brought this really realistic edge to it, and that I really liked that.
Yeah. What do you think is your dream role someday?
Oh man, definitely to play a superhero. That's definitely my dream role. I was gunning for Shazam because he's a kid who says Shazam and turns into Shazam, but they casted Asher Angel from Disney Channel on that. But yeah, I mean, I think the dream role and my main goal as an actor is to play a superhero. That's definitely my goal.
Yeah. So I also read online that you're into karate.
Yeah, martial arts.
Yeah.
I've done martial arts my whole life,
Awesome.
Longer than acting. Yeah, and I've done Taekwondo, Shoden-Judo karate, Shaolin Kung Fu, Iron Style Kung Fu. I did XMA for a while. I do stunt training, and my short that I'm directing at the end of February that I wrote and is also starring in has a lot of action in it as well. Because action is like my passion.
Yeah. Would you ever want to do a martial arts movie?
Oh, I would love to do a martial arts movie. I would love to do like a Bruce Lee style film or like a Matrix style movie, like John Wick. Like the kind of action in those films are phenomenal. I mean, those are like martial arts films are really what inspired me to become an actor in the first place.
What are some of your favorite martial arts movies?
Birth of the Dragon, definitely. I really love Birth of the Dragon. I love Big Boss with Bruce Lee, and the Matrix films, obviously. And I don't know. I don't know if you would consider John Wick a martial arts movie, but taking it back to that, John Wick is one of my favorite action movies.
Were you a fan of any of the 90s martial arts movies with like Van Damme and Steven Seagal?
Absolutely. Those films are awesome. I love those classic action films like, Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, and like all the Terminator films. I mean, like those films are, I grew up watching those. Thankfully, my parents, because I was born in 99, my parents, thankfully, I grew up on 80s movies and 90s movies, thank goodness. And, those films really inspire me as a creator.
Yeah. So you said you have a project that you're doing in February. Any other projects that you're gonna be working on in the future?
Yeah, I hopefully more seasons of play-by-play. I have a film coming out in March or April called Freddy, which is like E.T. meets Transformers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like E.T. for a new age. Yeah. So I have that coming out, and there's talk about doing a sequel to that. So we'll see what happens there. I have another film that I can't really talk too much about, but I've been working on it for a while. It's like an ensemble cast. It's a lot like Van Helsing, like R-rated Ghostbusters. So hopefully be working on that pretty soon. And then the stuff that I'm working on that I've written too. I definitely, my goal this year is to direct a couple things, and I'm already directing this one, so I'm really excited about that.
It's great. It's great that you're always keeping busy.
Absolutely. Even if I'm not working on a project for someone else, I'm always working on something that I've like written or something like that.
What are some of your favorite like movies right now or TV shows?
Well, favorite movies I think would have to be Mad Max Fury Road. Love that movie. And then again, John Wick. What else? I'm a huge Marvel nerd, so I'm going to say Spider-Man Homecoming. I really love that movie. I think Tom Holland did a phenomenal job. What else? What's another favorite of mine? What came out this year? I had a movie that came out this year that I really loved. Mother, which is a little controversial. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I personally loved Mother. Thought it was a great movie. I loved It. I thought It was great. I think some shows I like. I love Daredevil. I think Daredevil's phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah. Jessica Jones. Loved Jessica Jones. Wasn't too big of a fan of The Punisher. I thought it was a little slow, but I really liked that. And SNL. Really love Saturday Night Live. So I think those were a couple of my favorite movies and shows right now.
Did you watch Stranger Things?
I did. Yeah. I loved season 1. I wasn't a big fan of season 2. I really liked Billy. But that's also because I really loved him in the Power Rangers movie. I'm a Power Rangers fan. I grew up on that show.
Yeah.
So I loved the film. The film, when I was watching the movie, and I felt like I was a kid again.
Yeah.
I loved the first season. I think the first season not as much, but I definitely loved the first one.
All right. So how can the listeners find you on social media?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at the real Reid Miller, which is spelled REID, and you can go ahead and give me a follow, and you guys can be catching up and be following what I'm working on and get some sneak peeks at the stuff I've written that you'll be seeing soon that I hope to start gearing up. And follow me there. Follow me on Twitter, Reid Miller, and follow me there and keep up to date.
You also have a website, right?
I do have a website. It is. I haven't been on it in a while. My mom and my manager handle it, so let me just make sure I'm giving you the right. Don't want you guys to go to a wrong website. TheReidMiller.com. You can go there, and you can also see information on Worm, on Play-by-Play. And on Freddy as well. So on a lot of my upcoming projects, you can be up to date on that website as well.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Of course. Thank you for having me. This was a blast.
No problem.